It's Sunday, January 19th in the year 2025, also known as the smartest year ever. My name's Gordy, and today we're talking about the history of last names being your profession. Does your last name reveal your ancestors' profession? Let's find out. Many last names have their roots in professions, and some of them might just surprise you. What's in a name? For many of us, it's a window into a time when your ancestors' job was their identity. Ever meet someone named Baker and wonder if their ancestors really baked bread? And it turns out, they probably did. Let's start with the obvious one, Smith. It's one of the most common surnames worldwide, and it's not hard to guess the origin. Smiths were blacksmiths, forging tools, weapons, and other essentials for their communities. Then there's Baker, Butcher, Fisher, and those are pretty self-explanatory. What about the less obvious ones? Okay, Chandler, for example, doesn't refer to candles anymore, but that's where the name comes from. Chandlers were candle makers. Cooper, common name. Do you know where it comes from? Well, it refers to someone who made barrels, an essential trade when barrels were the go-to for storing everything from wine to grain. And Cartwright, there's a good one. Cartwright was a person who built carts. And then there's names like Fletcher. Fletcher was someone who made arrows, or a fuller, a little bit of a surprising one. Fuller is a name that's rooted in the process of cleaning and thickening wool. And here's a fun one. Wainwright refers to someone who built wagons. Webster, and that's someone who would weave cloth. That comes from the Old English for the word weaver. So Webster's a weaver. And then there's Sawyer. Sawyer comes from sawing wood. Tanner, someone who tanned animal hides. Miller, that's someone who ran mills to grind grain into flour. Some hints, and some names hint at roles that we don't really think about as jobs today, like marshal, for instance. Marshal comes from the medieval word for horse caretaker. Steward comes from the Old English term for household steward or manager. And Spencer, the name Spencer, that refers to someone who dispensed provisions. And even noble-sounding names often had humble origins. Bailey refers to someone who managed a bailiff's duty. And Parker was, as you guess, someone who maintained parklands, managed parks. Next time you're meeting someone with a classic surname, just take a second to imagine their ancestors at work. I know I do, and I refuse to be fully present in a conversation. Who knows? That Fletcher might have been an archer's best friend, and Cooper could have made barrels that held medieval beer. So, Well, check out the names that are responsible for the information provided to you today. All my sources, which can be found in the YouTube description. Please follow, rate, like, subscribe, share with your friends. Everyone, please, at Smartest Year Ever on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts for the full-length episodes, at Smartest Year Ever on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts for your daily 1-minute clips. In the meantime, stay curious and stay clever on our quest to become the world's greatest conversationalists. See you tomorrow in the Smartest Year Ever.